So let's pretend we're all standing on a street corner in some major metropolitan area. There's 100 of us. We're all in a big crowd, like a bunch of penguins. Maybe we're on the front corner of Park and Vine over in Cleveland, or maybe we're down at State and Adams in Chicago, or maybe on Main Street in French Lick, Indiana. I don't care. Let's say there's 100 of us all standing on the corner waiting to go across the street. And I'm going to be bold and step out in front of everybody else and take off before the light changes. And 97 people say, "Don't go, there's a bus coming, it's going to hit you." And before I can turn, I hear 3 other people say, "Go ahead, it doesn't matter, it's going to be just fine." Do I listen to the 97 people that said, "Don't go, you're going to become a bug on the windshield"? Or do I listen to those 3 voices that say, "Don't worry, no worries, it's all good, we'll scrape you off later"? That analogy reminds me of a lot of what's going on with climate change. Follow me on this one. 97% of scientists say, we got a problem here. There's something going on. Maybe we should pay attention. And 3% of scientists say, don't worry about it. It's just natural changes in the world. I'm good with both sides, but what we think we need to look into is how we respond to all this, because humans have a deep DNA connection to the concept of denial. And that's where this problem is for me. So all this is going on in the world. It's 4.5 billion years old, the planet we live on. It's got this little tiny thin atmosphere that keeps us all alive and we don't burn up. All the water comes up and down. It's got this amazing matrix of systems that we depend on for our very lives. And we think we're just going to figure it out because 3% of people say, there's no problem. So here's other things that remind me of denial when it comes to humans. For centuries, they said, what are you talking about? The world's flat. You're going to drop off the end. Don't go there. You're going to fall off the end. And somebody had the guts to go find out the world was round. What about putting a man on the moon? We said there's no way you can put a man on the moon. That's not going to happen. It's not feasible. Humans aren't going to get there. And 97% of NASA said, yeah, we can do it. And they did it. They went up and they actually came back. Now they went up and down all the time, like it's normal. But perhaps the greatest example of the DNA denial that humans have is, think about in the 60s, maybe into the 70s, but certainly in the 60s and in the 50s, you could go to your doctor's office and he'd be smoking on a ciggy going, yeah, smoking doesn't cause cancer, it's no big deal, it's good for your lungs. No, it isn't. So if we listen to that 3% that says there's no problem, we're going to have bigger problems. These, what do I want to call them? These backyard climatologists that use whatever's available to come up with this human DNA project where we kind of dismiss climate change. They use these examples that are really interesting to me. Like last year when Green Bay was playing a playoff game and it was 40 below zero and there was snow up to a cow's udder. They said, what are you talking about, global warming? Look what's going on here. That very same day, Australia was burning to the ground because they had the worst drought in 100+ years. It's called global warming, not Green Bay warming. So here's how it kind of breaks down for me. The bottom line is this. You're never going to get everybody on board. And whether we're 97% responsible for global warming or 3% responsible or 0.1% responsible, we're responsible. And the word responsibility is basically the ability to respond turned around. And what's our ability to respond to climate change? If we don't figure it out, we're going to find out.